All right, welcome back, everyone. I know that there are a few of you just I don't want to say bumbling, and that doesn't make any sense. Coming in, it takes a minute for everyone to come, but make sure you say hello in the chat. Remember, every engagement that you do is a point towards the leaderboard. Anca is here. We already met a few weeks ago. I had her on a podcast, which was great fun. We talked about events. She is the specialist in events and also in AI. So this is like a topic that I'm absolutely interested in. She is the best, says Yush. All right, Anka, I'm going to give it over to you, and you are going to lead the way with your introduction and a little bit more about yourself. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Danny. Hello, Yush. Supporter number one for all the speakers. I love it. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you for having me. I'm going to start by professing with a bit of a hot take. Small-minded leaders, they are looking at AI in terms of efficiency and how many jobs they can cut, where visionary leaders will see the bigger opportunity, a chance to evolve, to deliver value in all the new ways, and they will set out to make life better. So it's up to you what kind of leader you'll become in this age of AI. Now, let me ask you, when you think about your job and all the duties that you have to do, what is the most soul-sucking, mundane, boring part of your job that you absolutely hate? What if you were to delegate those tasks, the repetitive parts, to AI and instead focus on the value add that you absolutely enjoy, but also you can contribute to? So with that, I want to introduce myself. I'm Anca Platon Trifan, CEO of Trifan Events, also host of the Events Demystify podcast. And what I do is I help small businesses, and particularly women in business and event professionals, leverage AI tips and strategies to grow their business and event while they can reclaim the valuable time from those mundane tasks that I alluded to earlier, so they can do a bigger, better things with their time. In this short session today, I want to focus on fundamentals of revenue generation, lead gen for revenue growth with practical how-tos and automations. And because we only have so much time, we're going to get straight into it. Now, this past year, you've probably become familiar with how much we've been moving from Google it to AI it, which is more than a catchphrase. It's the new reality of business innovation and efficiency. This shift isn't just about accessing information, it's about changing how we make decisions, optimizing our workflows, and plan for the future. And for the small business owner, this isn't just a trend, this is a game changer. In 2024 alone, 77% of businesses have been engaging with AI, with 35% of them actively using it and 42 exploring its potential. The rise of AI may displace many jobs, necessitating our human roles to support AI operations. And the debate on AI's value still continues, but it's really accelerating the integration into business operations, and that is undeniable. For modern businesses, adopting AI is essential and not optional, as it really streamlines the task. It can reduce cost, much like the indispensable role of the internet and computer engineering today. Now, the big questions still remain to be asked. How will we be able to strike a balance between AI and meaningful work? What will happen when AI in the workplace will track our output minute by minute? Will AI eventually take over all of our jobs and leave us with nothing? Ultimately, we're all figuring this out as we go. Yet, I am optimistic that AI will handle some of the most monotonous parts that we just don't want to do anymore, so that we can focus on the creative task, on the creative opportunities and authenticity that we can bring to the table as humans. And that's where I want to stand for now. We'll see what happens next, right? Now, I want to say this one other thing. When it comes to implementing new technology, this is more like a three-legged stool where we have people, processes, and technology. And while it can be very overwhelming, especially at first, and you can get really easy caught in the latest technology, we have to remember that that's just one leg of this whole process. Without the other two, the people and the processes, the stool, and consequently the strategy that you're putting behind this implementation is not going to hold. Technology serves people and not the other way around. The first change that has to happen is really a mindset change regarding AI. And for that, you have to spend enough time with your team to understand the why behind the required changes, and how are you going to equip them, how are you going to equip yourself for the new technology and the supporting processes that will support this implementation. Because otherwise, poor processes plus new technology, well, that will equal expensive poor processes. Excuse me. AI tools are changing how we work. And unless you've been under a rock, you probably have already been overwhelmed by the amount of AI tools that are coming out every other minute, it seems like. The way we operate, the way we create content, all of it now it's possible with just one simple prompt. But not all text to X tools are created equal. They're grouped by what kind of output they produced, like for example, text to text, text to image, text to video, and each model is trained to different kind of task, and that's why it matters which one you use for what specific needs. For example, if you're creating a video, obviously you're going to use a text to video tool, while a text to image generation will be better fit for visuals. Now, many small business owners, I feel like they're still looking for that unicornish tool to do it all. And while there are several actually multi-model AI tools that can allow you to handle multiple type of tasks at the same time, like for example, text, image, and audio, by knowing what each tool does, you can then pick the right one for whatever project that you're working on. And as I mentioned earlier, since in this short session, I just want to touch on some quick lead gen automation. First, I want to look at four different ways in which most businesses generate revenue, and that is sales, marketing, customer retention, and operational efficiency. Now, each one of those areas play a crucial role in the success of a business. And because today we won't have time to touch on all of them, and in the interest of time, I'll just focus and touch on two of those. We're going to get started with just sales and marketing. So, first up, sales. Because if you have a business, it's because you probably have products or services to sell to your ideal customers. So let me ask you, as you're interacting in the chat, thank you for being engaged and present. What are some of the biggest challenges that you face when it comes to driving sales in your business? And while you do that, I'm going to take a sip of water really quick. Thank you for everyone that's engaging in the chat. I know the sales challenges can vary, and that can vary all the way from identifying the right leads to closing the deals. And the good news is there's definitely AI tools that can help with that. We had a small business owner that came to us with this one pain point. Our sales team spends a significant amount of time qualifying leads. Could AI help us prioritize and focus on the most promising prospects? And we were able to solve that pain point with an AI powered tool, which was a lead scoring tool, which basically prioritize and qualify the leads, and then that empowered their sales team to work smarter, not harder, and focus only their efforts only on the most promising leads opportunities. And there's several tools that can do that, and if you're a larger organization or corporation, you're probably already using some of those tools for lead scoring, lead forecasting, HubSpot, Salesforce, LeadSpace, Go High Level, Infer. However, if you're a small business owner, you're just starting, you're just dabbling into this, I'm pretty sure that one, you might not have the finances to invest in those tools, or two, might not have the know-how, or three, might not have the capacity. So if you're going to use a tool, because probably at this point you're probably going to do this manually, because what else are you going to do, right? But if you're going to do it anyway, how can we then maybe take that manual process and automate it? And that's what I want to look at now. Today, mostly everyone is on LinkedIn, clients, co founders, you name it. Those who will dominate the industry tomorrow, well, they are mastering LinkedIn lead gen today. Efficiency, consistency, using smart tools. And one simple way to automate lead gen from LinkedIn is using either Bardeen, Make, Zapier, whichever tool you are more familiar with. I have my own preference. And then ChatGPT or your choice of LLM. I feel like ChatGPT tends to get to be the first that's being named out there, but there's so many other different LLMs, as you've learned in previous sessions as well. And then the idea of this workflow is to write a post that will engage your target audience, whether it's about industry insights, product launches, thought leadership, and then generate a good number of impressions and comments. And once your post gains enough engagement, you can use an automation tool to scrape the profiles and the names of those who commented. Apollo IO can extract the contact information, and the playbook that Bardeen and Make and Zapier will build automatically for you will then export all of this data into a Google spreadsheet or a spreadsheet. And then you can upload that to ChatGPT to analyze the comments, but also analyze for potential leads. You can identify potential partners. You can look at patterns. You can look at interest and even mentions related to your business. So I actually used this strategy for a little while and it worked great. But to be honest, it had way too many steps. And this is the one reason why it's actually very important to stay fluid in your learning and your processes and always find better ways to do the same thing you used to do the same old way, maybe a week or a month ago. And instead, I decided to change my strategy because the previous one really involved a very solid follow up strategy. If you did all the steps, but you didn't follow up, all of that would have been a wasted amount of time because you still relied on the follow up to make sure that you craft a message, a personalized message, and then you connect with those connections, you target them in your marketing campaigns and do all the things, right? So since then, I decided that, it's too much work. A lot of leads were slipping through the cracks. So my newest secret weapon is now Folk. And what this does basically, when you find a potential lead on LinkedIn, you can install the Folk Chrome extension that can automatically grab the public information of that person. You can add interactions, you can set reminders, and that way you never lose a lead again. And then you also create all of those automations through Make or Bardeen or Zapier because Folk integrates with those. And that strategy worked way better across all industries, niches, company sizes, because at the end of the day, you have to look at LinkedIn as a gold mine that really is still waiting to be tapped. So go ahead and do this, install Folk, and see how it works and how well it works for you. Now, normally I would go into the example. I'll show you how to do this, but we're on a tight time here, so I'm going to skip that part. The next workflow that I want to actually get into involves a make again, and this one I'm going to show how to do it. Let's just say that you're using ChatGPT or an LLM to generate your leads, and again, like I said, ChatGPT is just something that I've been using from the get-go, from the very beginning. I have a long history with it. So I also use Perplexity. I also use Gork. I use other tools as well. So for the sake of keeping this simple, I decided I'm just going to put this example in. So first off, you've got to identify the targeted leads that you can do that via a simple Google search. Then you can collect that data and transfer it to ChatGPT to clean it up. And then this is when the automated part of the outreach starts. You can use Make, like I said, Bardeen, Zapier are other options. And you can set up an email automation that obviously you're going to have to test and launch several times to make sure that it's solid, and then keep monitoring and optimize it. So this is the simplest workflow and scenario that you can use in Make. And I'm going to switch screens really quick here just to show you. It's like it only has 2 steps. It has your Google spreadsheet. You're going to have to go to Google Console to make sure that you have your Google connection. And it will basically pull from a specific Google Sheet the leads. And then on a schedule, you're going to decide how often you want that schedule to happen. There's going to be an email that's being sent. This is where you're going to spend most of the time, making sure that that email, when it's sent, actually it looks solid. Now you can do a bit of HTML formatting in here, and then you're going to let it run and make sure that you follow up. But this is one easy, super easy way where you can automate that process. And we're going to go into another workflow here easily. But that is something that I've actually let run on autopilot for a little while, and it's been doing miracles. Now, as I said, we're going to do the practice. We went through that really quick. My next workflow actually relates to marketing, because marketing is yet another role in which you can drive revenue for a business, because it really connects businesses with their potential customers. It's not just about getting, your product or service in front of people. It's more about engaging with the right audience through multiple channels and turning that interest into sales. And you can use marketing as a revenue generation strategy by attracting new customers, by personalizing the engagement, by increasing customer retention, by optimizing your spending. In short, marketing is a revenue driver because it really can create the awareness that your business needs. It can build the relationships and turn those prospects into loyal customers. So how do you do that? If you're a business owner, I actually want to hear from you. If you are using any other type of strategies, marketing strategies to reach and engage your potential customers, is there anything that works well for you? If you want to share that with everyone that's in chat, that would be fantastic. I'm going to try to look at this as well while we're going through it. And I apologize for going in through it super fast. There's going to be a QR code to grab the slides as well. Okay, while you answer that, social events, thank you, Danny. While you do that, I'm going to show you an automation that we use for one of our clients that struggle with creating very niche personalized content for this different customer segments. We implemented several tools to leverage AI to analyze their customer data and generate tailored content, and 2 that are free and readily available: ChatGPT, Copilot, and then Make. But before you do that, let me just premise with this. A lot of people, and especially small business owners that are just starting with AI, they forget this one essential step, and that is making sure that one, there is something to be said about good prompting skills. And the other one is teaching whatever LLM of choice you're planning to use, your unique tone and voice. In the very beginning, when I started using these tools, I ran this prompt through all of my LLMs, and I included the results in the base instructions, which is many times available or is part of a paid model. And then practice and learning, especially when it comes to prompting, is essential. Now, the bonus there is that the more you get better at using prompting well, the better of a communicator you're going to become in general, because prompting engineering is all about clarity and effective communication. So if you're going to teach ChatGPT or any other LLM your unique tone and voice, make sure that you do that on previous content that you've written. Make sure that you use some kind of a tone analyzer, and that way you provided the base of who you are as a person, what type of tone, what type of unique voice you have when you put content into the world. So the messaging really reflects your branding. And if you work with customers and clients, this is another way that you could do that on their behalf to make sure that when you speak on their behalf is in their unique tone and voice. Okay, so as I mentioned, the next automation, what it does, basically, we're talking about AI news here and AI. It will search for AI news online, and you can use Perplexity. I think a lot of praise was already given to Perplexity as a research tool, and what it does, it compiles them into at least a CVS file that you can download. And then based on that, this automation will generate a post based on a very custom prompt. Again, going back to that custom prompt engineering and the prompt engineering skills that it's good to have. And then we'll generate an image that will go and be formatted for different social media channels. It will be formatted differently for LinkedIn, for Facebook, for Instagram, and Pinterest. Uh, Surprisingly, Pinterest is still it's gaining a lot of uh, new hype now in the age of AI, which I was surprised, but that's another story. And to do that, to get the news link, I basically went to Perplexity and I entered a prompt like, "What are the latest AI news this week? Generate a CSV file with the URL for each one of the AI news links that I can download." And once I got my list, I'm going to use it to feed this automation. So I'm going to switch to this really quick. Let's make sure that we go there. Um, Now, the cool thing about Make is that you can you can use the free version in 10 scenarios that basically are also called automations. And then 2 of those can be active at any given time on the free model. Once you move beyond the 2, then you will have to pay for the pro version. I had an error here that I was working through, which was related to one of my channels. We ended up troubleshooting it. And what this does, again, goes back to that one spreadsheet that I mentioned that has the AI news link. Then Perplexity still does the research based on that AI news link. It will summarize the article, and I gave it a template. And then this is a router where it will send it to multiple duties, right? One is going to create, the first one is for LinkedIn, but before it hits LinkedIn, actually, I want to see it in an email format to see what it does, what it looks like, because I'm very particular about what ends up being posted on LinkedIn. You can generate that automation to happen every day if you want. I usually post AI news on Thursdays, so this would be just very specific for that day. And then you can use multiple LLMs. Like I said, I have Anthropic set up, I have ChatGPT, and I have Perplexity, which also means that some of those will require API integrations. And then once you get started, it will basically create a specific image for Facebook, one for Instagram, and one for LinkedIn, which I'm going to take it from there because I was adding a LinkedIn router here, but I ended up taking it down just because I didn't really like how we posted. LinkedIn is, again, something that I'm very particular about. Okay, let's move on really quick because we got some other things that we want to talk about. Somebody mentioned Perplexity and the newest functions. Spaces is one place that I use, but there's actually another cool function that Perplexity has introduced, which is its new code interpreter feature, which for a small business is quite valuable because it allows direct access to real-time financial data. It can create charts, and installing Python libraries, it will allow you to do advanced data analysis. This really simplifies financial reporting. It can automate custom reports and provide insights without the need for multiple tools, which again saves time and reduces cost. Another streamlined, efficient way for businesses to harness data for informed decision making, and making it a practical solution for companies that need to analyze and visualize data quickly and effectively. And what I did here, you go to visit Perplexity AI. In the search bar, you click Pro. In in the search function and enter a query. Like, for example, here I enter something like install a library to get the stock market returns of the DAX index over the past 20 years, then use it to make a chart. And then you can see how Perplexity will search for the libraries, will install them, will fetch the data, and then create the chart, allowing you to then analyze the results and ask follow-up questions about that specific chart. Now, I used to use Julius AI to do a lot of that, but now since I'm already using Perplexity and this is a new function, I end up actually sunsetting Julius AI and using Perplexity more for that. The hot tip here is free users get 5 pro searches per day. So even in the in the free version, you can still utilize this function, which I think is pretty cool. Okay. Another powerful strategy that it will a small business, and this is something that I know a few of the other speakers probably have touched on, but I've been very big on creating custom GPTs that are very much tailored to different clients profiles. And as a business, you should definitely create a custom GPT to tailor AI capabilities specifically to your unique needs, your processes, your customer interactions. So that way you can not just enhance productivity, but you can streamline your internal operations. You can automate responses. You can offer personalized customer service experience. All the while, the AI will reflect your company's values, your branding, your industry specific knowledge. You can make those GPTs to be private. You can make them to be public. I have a few of those GPTs that are private. I have a few of those that are fully automated. All I need to do is ask it one single prompt without priming it in any way, shape, or form. And it already pulls information from all the sources that I already programmed it to pull from. All of that, again, to give you that competitive edge. Now, for example, if you're a real estate agency, you can use a custom GPT to generate personalized property descriptions or client outreach emails and market trend analysis. As an e-commerce business, maybe you can use a custom GPT to analyze best purchase data to offer product recommendations and draft personalized marketing messages and assist with customer support queries. And as a consultant, maybe you can have a tailored GPT that helps automate report generation, research, offer customer advice on that specific business challenge. These models can improve your decision making. You can streamline the operations and really be monetized through subscription services if that's something that you choose to do, product integrations, or even licensing. And those custom GPTs will work autonomously, will integrate with other tools and open new revenue streams. But again, they're only available, especially for ChatGPT, in the Pro version. So you have to have the paid model in order to engage with the marketplace, but also build your own custom GPT. In my coaching sessions, I teach clients how to build their own models, either private or public, and how to tailor it to their business needs. For example, the one automated GPT that I created is for a podcasting specific job. What it does, it will pull information from an intake form. It will automatically generate a script for that one guest that has filled the intake form. And all you have to do is generate the script for Jenny. You don't have to give any information on Jenny. You don't have to tell it who Jenny is, what her bio is, because it automatically go to the intake form and then pull that information and generate that, make that creation process so much faster. That in this particular example, 59 minutes to the hour were saved every time that GPT was used. So if that's not time saving, I don't know what it is. All right. And as we're coming to an end here, what I want to leave you with is we're on the brink of a technology revolution with AI at the forefront, streamlining operations, predicting trends, enhancing security. More than ever, it's so important. Diving into AI by identifying its impact on your business will empower your team with the training, and you're going to make sure that you embark on the right path. Um, In order to do all of that, though, you have to stay in step with all the changes. And I know that feels like a lot many times. There's still challenges that we're trying to overcome. And despite those challenges, the potential gains are immense. By integrating AI with the human insight and the human oversight, you can seize the chance to change your business with strategies and solutions that are crafted just for you. The future is not just to be foreseen, it's now yours to shape with AI. And I hope you'll take that seriously. You can scan that QR code. And I think Danny also can drop the link in the chat to make it easier for anyone that wants to grab the deck. And then for anyone that's curious and wants to learn more about anything that has to do with prompting, I have a free ebook that you're more than welcome to grab as well. That's all for today. You can connect with me on
Wow.
LinkedIn. And I just hope that you got some value out of this. And now I guess we're ready for Q&A.
All right. Yes, we are. We only have a couple minutes, and I think you went in depth into
Fast.
all of these things so fast, like a fire hydrant. We've heard that a few times today, and which is okay, right? I think everyone who is at this event, they are like I've seen it over and over again. Like they're lifelong learners. They're very excited about all the new possibilities that AI is bringing to their business, to their events,
Yeah.
to their consultancies, to their agencies, and so it's just so good. Now you really walked us through step by step and how you're using this. And I saw you said earlier, and now I know how Anca. Where was it? It was up above, like how the magic Anca uses, to be posting on LinkedIn, to be up to date. And I think for a lot of us, especially in content creation and in social media, this is a huge game changer because you need to be, up
You
to
have
date
to
and
be up
posting
to
all the
date. Yeah.
time, right? And it's like impossible as a solopreneur or an entrepreneur where you're doing all the things. And now,
I mean, you literally compromise sleep at that point.
exactly. So it's amazing. Okay, so we have a couple quick questions here. One, let's see. Dale just said the automation slide that you split up to make Facebook. How can we learn to do that? Do you have a challenge? Do you have training?
Yeah. So that's actually, I just put it up. It's not hard. And yes, I do have AI workshops that one of the sessions spends quite a bit of time on going step by step on where to start, how to integrate. Because I'll tell you, I'll be honest, I think the biggest problem out of that, it looks complicated, but it's not. The biggest issue that I ran into, and I had to spend a bit of time to troubleshoot, was actually the Google Console integration. You're going to have to generate your API. You're going to have to get that token, make sure that integrates with Make. And once you do that, then all the necessary scenarios that you create after that will be just a walk in the park. And some of those tools, they make it so easy for even someone that's not like a programmer, they're not very techy, to really just follow the steps and get that automation created. And then probably sometime we'll spend then in the prompting itself. That's very important as well, because you want to make sure that that prompt, when it hits a social channel, it looks right. Like instead of just a bunch of words on paper and a bunch of emojis thrown at it, it has has breaks in between sentences. There's just this clarity to your post so that it reflects well on your brand.
Yeah, that's important because otherwise it just doesn't look great. There's two people who have the same question. They're interested in being AI integrators for clients. And so, how do you determine a pricing model on that?
Well, I feel like that's it's a great question. I feel like that's such an evergreen need. And once you get started with the client, you're going to find out that you're going to have to create some type of a package for yourself where it's not just a one done deal. Some of those processes, as I alluded to earlier, you're going to have to go back and refine. You're going to have to go back and change something that worked last month. For example, I was doing using an automation for LinkedIn. Is just no longer valid because there's way too many steps. Apollo IO flow. It didn't integrate that well after a while. And then I was like, okay, I got to change this workflow. So if you're going to get started with working with a client on their processes, you're going to have to build some kind of a package for yourself, either via a retainer or via packages based on the scope of the work that you're going to do, that is going to be continuous, because some help will be a one-time setup. Here's whatever your integration, you're good to go. While other projects will require you to be more in a hand holding capacity. So then you're going to have to decide, am I going hour by hour? Am I going project by project? And that's just based on where your comfort level is. And I do both depending on the client, to be honest.
Yeah, so I guess it really it's dependent on your experience, the client, the
The
what exactly
project,
customizations that they need, because it can be highly
exactly.
customized to not. So yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot of things that you need to think of in
exactly.
that. All right, do we have like literally 30 more seconds for one more question. Is there anything else? Otherwise, I have just dropped in the comments how to connect with Anca. Connect with her over on LinkedIn. She is constantly speaking at different events, so you can see her on stage all over the place.
Yeah, and I
Anka,
constantly share free tips and news. So, like I said, that one scheduled for Thursday, that's true for Thursday, but then I have other content buckets that I place content in. So, there's always something on that LinkedIn page.
that's amazing. All right. Thank you so much for your time today, Anka. It has been a blast. Make sure give her a round of applause and emoticons for how much you appreciated her. Connect with her later on. And Anka, again, it's been such a pleasure to just learn from you. And we will see you over on LinkedIn and see you
Thank you
guys
for having
all
me.
in the next session. A pleasure. Bye.